What's going on YouTube? Welcome back to another video of the 30 days of scaling. 30 straight videos dedicated to help you grow your real estate business, and today's day 15. And if you're completely new at real estate, or maybe you just want to start real estate, go back to my last series, the 30 days of wholesaling, and get started on day 1, where you're going to learn everything that you need to know to get started in this real estate game. I started with absolutely zero experience, zero money, no credit, and over the last few years I've been able to do 500 plus transactions, and I'm showing you exactly how I'm doing it, giving it all away for free, so you have no excuses to go out and make it happen. And all I ask, guys, is you like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you're subscribed. I'm giving you guys $1 million blueprint that you can actually go implement, and all I ask is you subscribe to the channel. And with that said, guys, let's continue today with day 15. Let's go. Hey, I'm Saenz. At 18, I was broke, depressed, and living at a trailer park. Then I discovered real estate wholesaling, and in only 3 short years, I was able to grow $1 million real estate business. Over the last few years, I've been able to help hundreds and hundreds of real estate investors just like you start, grow, and scale their own business. If I can change my life, so can you. Subscribe to my channel, and I'll show you how. Alright guys, so in today's video, I'm going to be giving you guys tips on how to organize your wholesale business. So let's go down to the slide. Look, number 1, and this is probably my biggest regret, is I didn't document every part of the business as I went through the journey that I went through. And what I mean by that is you have to create processes for every part of the business. You have to create a playbook, right? If you learn something, make sure you write it all down on a piece of paper or a Google Doc and have a checklist line by line for every part of the business, right? Imagine you have a playbook for your wholesale business, and then everything is in that playbook. So if you hire somebody and they have a question, they can just go to that playbook. A lot of you guys have 9-to-5s, and the majority of corporations and companies, they have playbooks. They have something called an SOP, standard operating procedure process, that goes through every single item in the business, every single rule, every single thing to do. So if you ever have a question, you just go to that manual, right? So you have to create a manual for your business. Now, this can be a simple process. If you start marketing, let's just say you start cold calling, you're gonna go buy a list, you're gonna go skip trace it, you're going to go and upload it to your dialer or send it to your VAs, and then you're gonna cold call it and then produce leads. Those are all sequential steps that you take, and you wanna document that and have it in an organized way. So then if you hire an assistant, let's just say, then they know exactly what to do every single step of the way. And I would even take it as far as having a document where you have your logins for that step. So let's just say I'm pulling a list with listiva.com. Then you put your login information on there, on the SOP, on the procedure, on the paper, or the Google Doc that you're using to keep yourself organized, and you just put your login there so they know exactly what the login information is, so then they can go buy that list. Same thing with the skip tracing. You give them every step that they need to go and skip trace it. Maybe you create some training videos, but really creating processes for your business is going to save you so much time, headache, and money, because you're going to be organized and you're going to have a playbook for your business. And the second thing here, and this is an absolute mindset that you have to have, is always think hiring. And what I mean is always think team building, always think of recruiting, always think of, hey, how can I get somebody for this department? How can I get better closers on my team? How can I get a better admin or assistant or transaction coordinator? Always think hiring. Something that we always do is we always interview, right? And we don't do it every week, but we always have a pool of interview candidates. So in case maybe I lose an individual in my business, or maybe we just need to scale up and hire more people, then I always have a pool of candidates to choose from and bring them onto the team potentially. So always think hiring. The number 3 tip that I want to go over is invest in your training and development. This is pouring into your team. This can be in the form of buying your team tickets to an event, hiring somebody to come into your office and coach them on either sales or creative financing. So this is just investing in your people, buying courses and having them watch it, right? Bringing in somebody to your office to go and cover a subject so they can learn, sending them off to summits and events and conferences so they can improve the skill set when it comes to your business. So invest in your training and development. Do not go cheap on your people. One of the biggest things that I did just to improve my team is I got them all to go to sales events, right? I made sure that they all were adequate and kept improving their sales skills when it came to the acquisition side, and that pays dividends, right? Like for me, like I look back at those decisions and I think to myself that they were the right decision, because it allowed my team to get better on the phones. And it's as simple as hiring somebody or sending them off to an event so then they can better the skill set, which ultimately is going to bring you more profit because they're just better on the phones or whatever you're training for. Tip number 4, focus on delegating. Look, focus on delegating simply because if you don't, you're going to get burnt out with whatever task you're doing. Always saying to yourself, okay, what can I have somebody else do? Ask yourself that question. What could I have somebody else do? Like, for example, I do not edit these videos, right? The guy that edits these videos, shout out to Luigi, maybe he'll put a picture of himself up here, but I delegate that because that's not my zone of genius, right? It maybe take me a day or two to edit a video where he could just edit it in like an hour. That's because it's an expert for that specific thing, right? So think of that for your business. How can you create experts to take over certain departments? How can you hire a transaction coordinator to get really good at that job and then they just focus solely on that task, right? 100% of their energy is on that. How can you hire and delegate a acquisition position, right? Maybe you could only make 80 calls a day, but if you hire another 2 acquisition managers, now you're making, 240 calls in a day. So you see what I'm saying? Like, you want to increase your output and multiply yourself, but the only way that you're going to be able to do that is by delegating. So always just think to yourself, who else can do it, right? Who else can you delegate it to? Who can you give this task to so then they can focus 100% of their energy versus your 20% of your energy because you're diluted and focus on everything in the business, right? So start delegating positions. The quicker you do that, the quicker you elevate. In order to elevate, you must delegate. That's the bar. Write it down, put it in your notes. Let's go. Look, another tip that I want to go over, I don't want to go too into depth, but I just want to give you a little bit clarity on what to do. So look, payroll, if you have people that you hire, either you have to have them on W-2 or you have to have them on 1099. So 1099 is an independent contractor. I started, me personally, this is not legal financial advice. Please consult with your respective attorney, lawyer, and accountants, but that's a disclaimer. But I just started with 1099s, so they were just all independent contractor. They would use their own laptops and they would do their own work, and I would just pay them a commission per the deal. Now that is for 1099. Eventually the company got big, so now we're doing some 1099 and we're doing some W-2. So I just recommend that you just consult with your accountant or CPA, and they're going to be able to give you the best advice on how to structure the payroll side of your company. And same thing goes with taxes, right? Make sure that you're saving on every single deal, 10 to 20% per deal for taxes, right? And that's just something that we do. Sometimes taxes end up being more than that, at least the last few years they have, but it's a good percentage per deal. So then you can have that money readily available when you have to write that check to Uncle Sam. So just consult with your accountant, CPA, when it comes to taxes. They're going to be able to give you guys the best advice. So the tip for just this video is focus on your taxes, right? Like, focus on your taxes. I see a lot of real estate investors, and I'm guilty of it. When I first started, I was just pushing it to the side, and then my books became really messy. My transactions were all over the place. And then when that tax bill came, I'm like, oh my God, I should have paid quarterly because this lump sum is a lot of money. So just prioritize that. Another tip, network with investors. One of the greatest tips for just organizing, building your wholesale company is network with other investors, right? So ask other investors what they're doing. How are they paying their people? One of the biggest questions that I consistently ask everybody in my circle is, hey, what are you seeing in the market? Hey, how's your deal flow? I always want to get a pulse of the market by people that are actually in the business. So when you're networking with other investors, just ask them, hey, how's your deal flow? How's the market? What are you seeing? And for me, like, I have buddies that own 50, 100, 200,000 plus stores. So I'm asking them, hey, what are you seeing in the market? Because a small guy like me can pivot based on the moves that bigger players are doing. And another tip, and this is track your numbers, okay? This is KPIs, your key performance indicators. I have a video upcoming that's going to be covering it in depth, but this is just a tip. Track your numbers, track how much you're spending, track how many leads you're getting, track how many calls you're making, track how many contracts, track your price per deal, your profit per deal, and go through all of that and make sure that you track your numbers because it's going to give you a pulse on the business. Again, I have a video that I dive in deeper, but this is just a tip to keep it in your awareness as you're growing your real estate company. Another tip, especially when you have a team, is do team building activities. This is great for culture. This is great for the connection and trust within your team. Oftentimes we've done bowling sessions, we've done paintball, we've gone and shot guns out in the desert, regular Can-Ams, trips to Sedona, Arizona. And these activities just bring the team closer together, and the stronger the connection of the team, the better that they're going to do together to get you to the vision that you have for everybody, right? So if you have a goal and you have a team that's connected and they're all pushing towards that goal, you're gonna get there a lot faster. And the last tip that I wanna leave you with is have company goals, right? Have a goal on everything on your business. Have a goal on how many contracts a week you want to get. Have a goal on the revenue amount that you're looking to attain. Have a goal to network with people, track and have a goal on the number of calls you're doing daily. Have a goal on the amount of deals you're doing. Have a goal on everything, right? If you do not have a plan, right, to achieve that goal, or you have no goal at all, you're just kind of wishing for growth. But if you can set the target on, let's say, $100,000 a month, and every single week you have to close $25,000. Now for $25,000 a week, you got to get one closed deal for $25,000. Now everybody's focus is on that specific goal, right? So have company goals. As a leader, share it with everybody. Make sure everybody's on the same page. I found personally that on our slowest months is because we were disconnected. We didn't have goals. We weren't a unit. And we were just, the team just didn't know the goals, and nobody was striving for that goal because nobody really knew where we were going. So make sure that you have goals, share the vision, share the goals with the team so everybody knows where you're going. So with that said, guys, this was day 15 of the 30 days of scaling. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you tomorrow for day 16. Let's go.